Okay, so now let's have a look at this painting I call Continuum. I purposely picked a kind of abstract title because it's an abstract painting. I want to tell you a little bit about how this painting evolved. It went through about 8 different stages. And I have this small little booklet to show you the process. Up here in the upper left is a painting, a watercolor painting I did, looking down at a lily pond. These are actually lotus flowers. I like the perspective of looking down. That way you could see the full circles of the lily pads. When I'd finished that, which has a blue background, I found myself wanting to try that more or less the same painting, 2 full bloom flowers, 2 buds, but with dark water, because sometimes the water is very dark. That was interesting to me, and it led me along a little further to a more horizontal version of the lily pads. And so that shows you they're beginning to flow and move, whereas in the first 2 they don't move that much. Now I flip open to show you where my painter's mind was going. I began to change the colors of the lily pads and make more distinct outlines. Always just exploring for myself what seemed to be catching my attention at the time. Then I was interested when I did red. I thought, okay, how do I make the red discs? How do I make the red discs recede? And what happens if I add a bar of a color here? So I'm getting more towards an abstract painting at this point. Then I decided to play more with line. And I mean, who ever heard of red reeds in the lily pond? But then again, the lilies are now yellow and orange. So I'm getting further from the reality and more towards the feel of what I think of and feel when I'm looking at a lily pond. Here again, mainly trying to choose colors, trying to think about what do I want in the background. I've got yellow as the water here. I've got larger lily pads in the foreground and then turning to almost purple in the back. So suddenly, finally, I feel ready for the full painting, which you see on the wall. And what drove me in then, here I was with this largest canvas I'd ever painted, and it was white. That was a little scary to me. So the first thing I did was paint it yellow. Then I felt a little better about that. And I hope you can see that what I did, I kept the swirl motion, and now that the canvas is bigger, I was really able to use my full arm to do the painting. And I can tell you that I started with the greener shades, moving towards blue. Then I added the magenta color, which then became, when mixed with blue, purple in some places. And I felt like I was getting very close to done, but I wasn't particularly happy with it. So one day I walked into the studio and I said, this painting needs orange. And I made these huge slashes, and it just felt right. So that was it. Hope you enjoy it.